Just a
Ding! And here we are. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to Into the Portal and an EQ Next podcast, EverQuest Next, and also Landmark, which I need to change the damn logo for. I've got the new logo. I just got to put it in there. Here we are. Oh, we're here. And welcome tonight. We have Miss Ara. Mrs. Ara.
Yes. Hello.
The controller thing popped
Lady
up.
Ara.
Lady Ara.
Lady Ara.
Super fancy unicorn.
Hey guys.
Mr. Tobran.
Hey.
Legendary neurotoxin.
howdy, folks.
And then the lock. The beardless. And
What do you want from me?
I want to see you without
That's
your
the
beard.
kind of mood I'm in tonight.
Are you? You're like ready to fight.
Oh God.
Look, oh, he's drinking Monster. That's what's wrong with him.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the
That's how
energy
it
drinks.
begins.
I think I spent some time with Tobran, and now I've got a case of the Scottish. All I want to do is headbutt people and
And throw
But you're not
cabers.
drinking Iron Brew.
throw cabers.
You're gonna be like tossing cabers into the air.
Yeah, do that every day, you know.
That's what you do, Tobran, don't you? That's how you get to be so big.
That's my day job, alright?
Yeah, he's a
You
caber
know?
tosser.
Yeah.
Cabers, if you guys aren't
I'd love it
familiar,
if they were like
they're telephone
if they were like
poles.
Scottish gangsters, and just like
They run around with cabers
tossing cabers.
What's
Make
up?
it
In the
great.
club.
at the club. Well, what's
Yeah, in
up?
the club, tossing cabers in the club.
Awesome. So yeah. All right. So we are got some great stuff to talk about tonight. If I could remember what it was, it would be great. But we do have Mr. Locke and Tobran just came back from a live meeting with the gents over from SOE, and Mrs. Ara was just on the live stream this past Wednesday, meeting with the SOE. So Geekdomo, Legendary Neurotoxin, and Super Fans Unicorn are not going to say anything tonight, and the show is going to be all about these people who met the crew.
I do have one thing to say.
No, you can't.
SOE Live!
Oh no, that's a ways away. That's
Small details.
It's the pre-sale is just announced, but anyway.
okay.
Whereas everyone get your tickets for SOE Live because I'm going to be there, and you know it's going to be awesome.
He's
And I'm
going to be
there,
married.
like, you know.
He's going to
You
be
can-
Mr.
you can-
Fuwala.
You can watch me and Tobran hug in real life.
Nice.
Yeah. We get the whole stage for it.
We just lost Ara.
Yeah,
Now she's
it's gonna
back.
happen.
She's back now.
She's back.
Welcome back.
Sorry. T was
Now-
Diana spring on it.
I have a question for you from the live stream. Is it Ara or Era?
I honestly like it's both forever. Usually when I'm playing with people, it's people from England always say Ara, and so I go with that. And then when I'm introducing myself, I always say Era.
Because your real name is Sarah, so Era works. Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
And so,
I
yeah.
don't really. It's all good.
it'll work.
It'll
All right.
work.
So before we get going, also everybody, a couple little housekeeping things. If you are here and you're trying to collect the Domo coins, which we are now moving into a beta phase, you can now do it off-site. And so if you go to geekdomo.com and you click on the gold coin, you can link your Twitch account and get free Domo coins. This is important because later on this afternoon, we're going to be giving away some lunar anklets to everybody. Not to everybody, but to people who win. And to do that, you have to use our Domo coin situation that we have here. Also, what else? There's something else I was going to mention. Commercials. Hopefully there won't be the commercials coming on, but if they do, I apologize. So we have Nightbot we dropped Moobot and went to Nightbot, but he's a real a-hole, and he likes to do mean things. So he might throw a commercial in here, and we have tried to get him sort of reined in. So, hey, there's Foo. Hi, Foo.
Hey.
Speaking
Foo.
of SOE Live, which they've promised to do a wedding with Foo and Locke with polar bears and lasers.
Nice.
So,
Polar bears with legs.
polar bears with lasers and smoke machines, because they got really drunk. All right, so okay, Bod disabled the commercials, so that's all taken care of. So I guess we're ready to roll. Let's. I guess you want to talk about
Domo.
what?
Domo, I have a question.
Oh, sure.
If I have a question, how would I go about submitting that question?
Thanks. I knew that was what I was trying to talk about. Okay, thank you. I knew that it was in there, but so if you have a question, put it in the word in the brackets. Put bracket, question, bracket, and bracket, or you can put parentheses. I'm not particular. And then Mr. Bod or Stockus. We'll put them into the chat, and we'll be able to answer the questions as we get going. Guys should look for
later on.
What's that?
Later on, we'll decide who's going to be asking the questions.
It will probably be Tobran because he's really good at it. And
that's something we'll have to decide.
Felgon is here. Hey, Felgon, thanks for coming. He says Vegas wedding, I approve.
Nice. Going with the hard to see green. Sneaky.
It's not hard to see if you actually have, if you actually use better Twitch. You got to use better Twitch. It makes the background black, and you can see all of them really good. Okay, so let's talk about you guys, because it was the oldest, and then we'll talk to Ara in a minute.
We're gonna be doing that all day.
We're talking to Ara. This you should change your name to Ara. All right, so let's
change it to Ara.
You guys met up with who when they came to London town?
It was Omid, Dave, Terry.
Oh, just name drop, why don't you?
Jeff. Yeah, of course I am.
We're on first. We're on first.
Everyone.
I was gonna put that out. I was like, yeah, I guess we're all very familiar now. It's first names only.
It's like everyone.
But Dexela wasn't there. Pentapod wasn't there.
Nope.
We were very lucky. Obviously, Omid Doriani, who I'm sure everyone here knows who that is. Dave Georgeson, Director of Development for the EverQuest franchise. Terry Michaels, Senior Producer for Landmark and EQ Next. And Jeff Butler, the Creative Director for Landmark and EQ Next. We're all there, as well as Ben Conrad and other members of the SOE PR team, who were all exceptionally lovely people. Made us feel really, really, really welcome. I was actually really surprised. Like when I first got there, like when I was coming down after I checked in from my room, like down into the bar, like I was kind of nervous. I thought I might sort of clam up a bit and not have much to say for myself. But then
Really?
Never.
Really?
It's
You're my go-to guy
it's
when
my
I want to
first
fill up
time
20 minutes of nothingness. I say, "Lock, just talk." And off you go.
It's a big thing. It's not like we were at an event or something. There were like loads of fans around and people saying hello, and they were like shaking hands and taking photos. We were just in a hotel bar, and then there were like people hanging out, and then there's like Jeff Butler's just standing there as if that's a normal thing to do, and then it's like, oh god, what do I say? But yeah, it was really like I was surprised how normal it did feel, to be honest. Like because they're exactly how you would expect them to be. Like, I mean, I'm sure that other people will be able to confirm this as well, but like, they're just how you see them on the shows and stuff, and how you see them on the videos, and just the way that they talk and the way they interact and everything.
You mean they're like real people?
They're exactly like real people. It's really strange.
I wasn't expecting
it's like,
that.
You kind of with Dave Georgeson, it's like the excitement and the enthusiasm is like. When you see it live,
He's really like that.
it's
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
He's really like that. So yeah, that kind of that definitely took the edge off. And it's weird, you see him talking so much that you kind of feel like you know them already. So that helped. And obviously they knew exactly who we were because they watch all our stuff and just follow us religiously and pay attention to every word that we say.
Was that like the coolest part, like when you showed up and they're like, "Hey, Locke,"
There was one point where I got recognized, which was quite cool.
I bet.
But that was during the actual press event. This guy came up to me and he looked just like normal guy, and he was like, "Hey, do I know you? Have we met?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm not sure. Like, it's possible, and I've met people before. I've been outside, But he was just like, he said like he was like, "I'm sure I've seen you," and I was like, "I do like videos and like a show and stuff for EQ Next and everything." He was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen your show. I'll watch your stuff." He was like, "I'm Rodolfo," and I was like, "I'm sure I'd remember that name." He was like, "Oh, I'm the CEO of Storybricks."
Wow!
I don't know how to respond.
Now, see, we don't see them all the time. Like you could recognize Omid, you could recognize Terry, you can recognize all those guys because you see them all the time. But
Exactly, yeah.
the Storybreaks guy, I probably wouldn't know him either. I mean, just yeah.
Well, that's Rodolfo, who's the CEO. But then there was also Stefan Bura, whose name I hope I'm pronouncing correctly, is a French gentleman who's the lead designer for Storybricks.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a couple of good chances. I had a couple of good chances to talk to him, and that guy is like, if you're interested in game design, that guy is next level.
Did he talk your ear off?
No, we were just talking about, you know, Storybricks and, you know, obviously AI and game design and how, you know, how systems can work together to complement each other, and it was yeah. Good.
Stockus just said something.
You guys know what I'm like. Yeah, it was an incredible opportunity, and obviously, you know, the SOE team and everything, they all really know their stuff. But yeah, it was great.
So Stockus just said something that I think we're gonna get T-shirts made up for everybody who's on our show. It's I do a show, and it's sort of like a little meme that we started, like, because somebody yesterday was saying, look, I can't get my internet fixed because it was Perfect Nerd. He was like, I'm in my mom's house and I can't get the internet to work, and I'm like, you just call him up and you tell him I do a show, damn it. And they have to recognize and.
Do you know who I am?
Yes, exactly. I do internet show.
I'm incredibly important.
Yes, exactly. That's the whole point.
I am from the internet.
There's dozens of us.
So we're gonna get shirts made up for you guys, and every time we go out to one of these events, you just wear it says I do a show, and then people will be like, oh, that's you.
Awesome.
I'm the person at parties who explains what 4chan is. Neil
Exactly.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, so Tobran, tell us about your experience. What is it you got in your hand first? Let's see that. Is that some swag?
Oh, that. Yeah, it is swag.
Let's see the
got one
swag.
as well. Right.
Oh,
I don't know if you can see it. It's
yeah.
got shite.
That is
Shiny?
kick ass. It says
It's so good.
it does say EverQuest Next landmark though.
Yeah, that makes it like a rare collectible.
It is a
now,
rare
so.
exactly. That's probably one I probably want more.
That tankard actually brings back painful memories for me.
Were you getting drunk with it or something?
Because we were at Pewterer's Hall for the event,
Mm-hmm.
and I said,
Oh no! Not
I
this
said to
again.
Tobran, there was all on the wall, like there was all like engraved. It wasn't engraved, but it was all like inlaid in the wall. All the names of the master pewterers of Pewterer's Hall from like what was it, like the 1400s or something?
Oh,
and
really?
I said, wouldn't it be amazing to be a master pewterer? Because if you were at a dinner party or something and you were chatting to a guy and he was like, oh yeah, I work in sales, you know, it's a middle management position, but you know, there's plenty of like room to move vertically in the company, blah blah blah, and you'd be like, you are so boring, I am a master pewterer.
Could have a shirt that says I do pewter.
Yeah.
That's being a master pewterer is the start of a conversation, not the end. And Tobran literally slapped me when I said that.
Yeah, pretty much.
In
Not
front
gonna
of all the gaming press of Europe.
Yep. Fear me.
Fear me. I do a show. So Tobran, what was your experience? Tell us about some things you met up with people and talked and words and things.
Like, I was totally the opposite of Locke. As Locke was really chatty and stuff, I was kind of like really clammy and like, oh my god, these are real people type of thing. So I was just really quiet and just didn't speak and just listened to what everyone said.
Mm-hmm.
Tobran, you've met them before.
I know. So, what is your point?
It's honestly like
I know how you feel, Tobran. It's
so
okay.
weird.
I understand.
I
You
understand.
just
Like
sit there,
it's
you're like, oh
different.
my god, what do I say?
Like, when you're like on the last day, like after the press thing, we were back at the hotel in the bar, and it was literally me, Tobran, it was Terry Michaels, Amir Doriani, Jeff Butler, David Georgeson, on one table having a chat.
Wow, that's kick ass.
That's not a normal thing to do. Like, you know,
awesome.
for someone who likes computer games, you know, and just started making videos and doing a podcast about it a few months ago. That's not a normal situation to be in. So I totally understand.
No.
What I said. And there was one moment in the conversation we were talking about Batman, and I found myself in this debate with Jeff Butler. And like just in the back of my mind, it's like, we're arguing with Jeff Butler. Stop it. But I couldn't do it.
Yeah, 10x Locke is having some issues, but it's okay. We let him. He's actually powering the internet with his mind right now. Locke, you're coming in a little fuzzy and going different colors.
To be fair, Batman's fun to argue. He's kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
No, but the conversation wasn't about Batman. It was about every superhero ever. Like
They're-
we talked
they're
about
all-
Superman, we talked about like Wonder Woman, and like everything, all the things. It was great.
I'm sorry, but Jeff Butler always strikes me as somebody I don't want to get in an argument with. Like he looks like he's pissed off all the time. Like he would just smash my face if I said the wrong thing. So I can appreciate you.
He is a pretty intense guy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you don't have small talk.
But now, see,
No,
Jeff Butler
it's-
is one of the. It's kind of a neat situation for those who might not know. Jeff Butler was one of us. Like Jeff Butler was a
Yeah.
fan, you know, and he got into working at Sony because I think he just kind of like said, "Hey guys, I want to be part of the thing, you know, I want to do EverQuest." So that's how he got involved, and they brought him on back in the day. So now he's still there. So
And
it's
he,
looking good for Ara. She lives like 5 minutes away.
Belgon says never argue with Jeff Butler.
Yes, never
I
argue
didn't
with you.
realize. I didn't realize how close
Well,
they
you
were.
know, I
passed
did.
them.
We'll see what the fallout is from that.
Well, fallout from
yeah,
you arguing.
Sorry.
You fallout from you arguing, and Ara was trying to say something. Lockie talked right over the top of her.
I know.
He does that. Just slap him.
I did.
God.
Great.
Go ahead, Ara.
It was.
No, I was just saying, I was really surprised. I thought they were way farther north, but it turns out like I pass by them every time I go to my mom. So I was just like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, this is
it was really easy.
kind of in the middle of the area there.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I was getting nervous. I was like, oh my god, what if they're in some like obscure like channel of a million different. I mean, they kind of are, but it was pretty easy to find them, and so like, because I had left I left like an hour before, and it's like a 20-minute drive, and I'm thinking, because how bad would it be to be late? Like that's not good, you know. So I left way early, and so I ended up just having like coffee for like 40 minutes. Yeah. Anyways,
We got a question in the chat. What's everybody drinking?
Beer.
Red Bull.
water and tea.
I got myself a big old glass of ginger ale, and I got an upset tummy. I got a little sick tummy, so I'm having some ginger ale, which is good for the tummy. And if I bolt out of here, you guys know I'm in the bathroom puking.
Okay.
So, and I'll be back after I'm done. So Ara, okay, so the boys talked about that's it. You guys want to talk about anything else? You know, I thought you would. There's like nothing else
Well,
exciting. They
there's
told
a lot.
you some.
There's a lot more that I could talk about, but obviously, you know.
Plenty more. Like lots of
Okay.
things happened, but I
Anyone
think
wants to
some of the
say?
things. I think some of the things they talked about they weren't meant to.
Okay, fine. So don't break any NDA stuff,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
what about?
Yeah.
Is there some things that you guys heard that is definitely confirmed that you could talk about? Maybe. Is there anything at all?
Well,
Combat. Did they say anything about combat that you can talk about?
Soon.
I
Soon
got-
TM. Okay.
I got to talk a lot with Jeff Butler one-on-one about the combat system. I'm trying to work out what I can say. The thing is, like, a lot of it's theoretical, a lot of it's ideas, and you know, it's still a process of design.
Mm-hmm.
And it's difficult as well because, you know, they are genuinely being really open. Like, I mean, you know, they are what they have, they'll share. You know, what they've got locked in, like they are telling us that's just how it is. But there's a lot of stuff, like especially we kind of went a lot further into it and talked about with EQ Next. Like, if you think about features of Landmark and extrapolate that into EQ Next, things like destructibility, things like being able to build immediately, things like fluid dynamics, things like I can't say that things. The thing is, everything about this game is it's being designed to be a revolutionary product. You know, they are taking inspiration from other places, and a lot of it's, you know, iteration on solid things, but it's not the standard MMO model with different bits tacked on. You know, it's not a series of discrete mechanics that are designed to appeal to your typical MMO player, like the type of things we've been getting. Like today, for example, something came out. Can't remember what.
Okay.
it's very much designed. It's very much designed to be a new experience, and Storybricks is a huge part of that. Because I remember one of the things during the press event that Stefan really wanted to get across was the idea of Storybricks as an AI concept, as a way to kind of bridge the gap between storyteller type designers and then programmers as well. Like it's a way to kind of get them to meet in the middle as far as telling interactive stories works. Now that is exactly the same thing as SOE are trying to do with the building tools in Landmark as well. They're trying to bridge the gap between someone who has an artistic vision and someone who's very good technically, because those skills rarely overlap, you know, enough for it to be the same person. So if you think about what that means as far as kind of centralizing design in that way and building out from that is kind of the direction that they're going. But, you know, just like as far as that goes, like the hype is real. You know, they genuinely want players to be involved. You know, they genuinely view the player base as like a development resource for them. You know, it's not like they're giving us a playground to like muck about in, and like, you know, they see it as like a user generated content, like another method of I can't think of the word now, keeping people coming back, retention. It's not like another method of retention or anything. It's like a core strategy for what they're doing, and everything feeds into that. You know, it's not like we're making an MMO, but in ours you can build your own guild hall. You know, it's not it's not like that at all. So yeah, if you can extrapolate from that what that means for what's going to happen. I should get back on topic, really. But
no, it's still on topic. It's okay. We had a question. Did you talk to them about PvP, and if so, were you satisfied?
And yeah, very.
We crossed the profit very briefly, but from what they said, I'm satisfied.
You're satisfied.
I don't know about you.
All right, I had another opportunity to talk to Jeff. You remember when we were in the room with all the press playing, and I was down. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Is that the part where I was sitting on the chair?
About, what's that?
So that part where I was sitting on the chair, just listening to you both go for the hour. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Earlier on, before Jeff Butler had to go for the interviews and stuff, before he went, I was talking to him then, and we did touch on. Oh, and after you left on the Monday. Anyway, doesn't matter. Yes, I talked about it from my perspective. I will say, I think if you generally agree with me,
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
If in general you sort of agree with the broad way that I kind of view MMOs and the broad way that I like to see things implemented, I think you'll be very pleased with the design goals for Landmark and EQ Next, and I think the PvP fits into that very neatly as like a broad design idea. We'll have to see, like, obviously everything's a work in progress and we'll have to see how it's implemented, but as far as the starting design goal, and remember they've got support to do these things from the company, you know, the company's not saying make it like WoW, the company's saying, you know, make a revolutionary innovative project. So they want, you know, they want it to be very much like, and you think like it cannot not be different because of the way that Storybricks works. When NPCs have goals that are achievable, you know, when they operate within a world where they want something and they need something, and that can conflict with other NPCs, that can conflict with players, that can conflict with some players but not others. You know, if you listen to, during John Smedley's AMA, he said he really liked the idea of player factions. He really liked the idea of player, this is something that he's just said, you can go and look this up. John Smedley said he really loves the idea of player factions affecting the world. Then you look at Storybricks and what that means for NPC factions. When NPC factions can have achievable goals that can be affected by the player base, and then you put, it's just the word faction across just as a blanket thing, and then you think about how that can affect the way that PvP works in a game, or the way the economy works in a game. That's the kind of conversations that we were having, and they were incredibly interesting, and I was very, very satisfied with the answers that I was getting from the whole team.
Sorry about that, Krona. I was pasting a bunch of codes for Stockus. Stockus is our code monkey. So he's he hands out our codes, and we're gonna start giving away our codes here pretty soon. So hang in there, everybody.
Yeah.
All right, Omid's in the house. Everybody, say hi, Omid.
Hey.
Hey,
How's
Omid.
it going?
Look at everyone in chat saying hello to him.
I know.
Everybody,
He's like a
That's
superstar.
just what playing right into his hands.
Oh, actually, I'm
You
gonna
said
take
hello
it
to
a
him
step-
as well.
he
What are you
wants
talking
to
about?
do.
I'm gonna take it a step further. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific or 7 Eastern, Omid does his stream, and this time it's gonna be Papers, Please. So get your scotch ready, and glory to our Stotska.
Oh,
Is
very
he doing
nice.
Papers, Please? That is brilliant. When's that, tomorrow?
Yep.
I'll have to check that out. I'm gonna be doing spring cleaning all weekend because we're going. I'm another bit of house cleaning. This is our last into the portal, so I just gotta pass that on to everybody. We're not doing one next week, but the week after we'll be back.
Okie dokie.
Wait, you promised me I'd never have to do this again.
I know I paid you really well, so you wouldn't have to do
How
it.
could you do this to me?
No, next week I'm gonna be at PAX East. Here, look at my ticky. Here's my ticky. I'll be at PAX East next Friday, so hopefully I'll be streaming live from the floor, and maybe I'll be hanging out with Omid, and we can do some chatting and stuff live on Twitch. But this show won't be here next week. All right, so back to the thing. Ara, let's talk to you about your experience over there with the crew, the ladies and the gent, over there at SOE.
Yeah, had a pretty good time. Went over to SOE stomping grounds it's here in San Diego, and met up with Colette Dexala Murphy.
Yay!
Yeah, so I was hanging with her. She was kind of showing me around. She showed me parts of it's like the community management kind of area, that building, and which probably, I just, like, the second you walk in, like, there's a giant, like, maybe 7-foot Batman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
At the SOE
it's
headquarters?
Yeah. And it's like fully enrobed and just like majestic and just staring off into the night. Like, and it's just one of those things where it's like that sets the tone pretty accurately. So there's that. And then we walked across the parking lot over to the dev area, which they were actually working on the hot fix that was going to go right after the stream. So I met Terry Michaels there. He was adjusting to the time change. I think it's a pretty significant one from coming back from seeing you guys, actually. And so he was hanging in there, though. He was hanging tough and trying to do some stuff with the patch to get that going.
Mm-hmm.
And so we didn't want to. I didn't want to be too intrusive because they were doing their thing and they looked like they were, they're on a deadline and stuff. So I didn't want to be like, like, and be like all in their face. But I did meet. I met Emily Domino. Just met a couple people over there. Went back. Did the show with Rye as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Maggie handled chat. She looked pretty comfortable on that couch, Omid. I am just saying, you better watch back.
She was in the ozone.
She was in the ozone. And she looked pretty comfortable to me. But yeah, she was pretty cool.
But she's contaminated it.
I don't know about Maggie.
She did, because that
No, that's
ozone was
weird.
the bastion of Omid DNA so that we could clone him later.
Oh my
And
God.
so
We
now...
got some Maggie in
Not
there.
touching that.
Yeah. So now what are we going to do? It's contaminated. We won't know if we're going to get a Maggie or we're going to get an Omid. It could become like a cross-breeded Maggie Omid. A
Momid?
Momid, yes. Could be a Momid.
But since only Omid can destroy Omid, perhaps when we clone it, it will be Maggie's essential goodness.
That
will get
neutralizes
inside.
it? I don't know.
Yeah, and then finally, like the Maggie Omid clone will be able to finally destroy Omid and end his reign of terror.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Can we just take a moment to admire
Just
that
saying,
quote from Omid?
just saying.
There's plenty of my DNA all over the place.
Yes.
Just that
I will
quote,
say
like,
though,
All of you,
I was looking at
all
the
you
chat,
people in
just
chat,
to be
don't look at
perfectly
me like
honest,
I'm weird. I'm not the one
like-
that brought up cloning.
every single surface at SOE, I would imagine, is already covered in a fine layer of dog fur and dander. So you just have to get
Is
through
that because you
first.
were there?
No, it's because it's a very dog-friendly company there. There's like, I think it was like a 10-to-1 ratio of developers to dogs on the PlanetSide 2 team.
Hmm.
That's how they do all their best coding.
Yep, you know it. Well, no, it's because they were in grind mode for so long they
Put a
wouldn't see their
chihuahua
pets all day. To be fair, Higby did teach his dog to fly for him, so I mean he has he actually has pictures of that too.
Yeah.
Great.
Still
Anyway.
flies better than Adam Clegg.
I didn't see any dogs.
No
I
dogs?
No dogs.
So legendary, I don't know
No.
if your idea is right, but could be right.
I don't know.
Maybe just not in that area.
Yeah.
Was it the first building on the left when you come in?
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's kind of more the studio area. I don't know if the
Yep.
pets the pets are more in like the back
Yeah.
buildings.
Could you just bring up the blueprints for us quickly, Ruth? That'd be helpful.
Stock. We have a question. Ara, what was it like when you first got? I mean, have you ever been on a show that large before in front of that many people?
No, I haven't.
You were a bit nervous, but you've pulled through. I can't say that you didn't look a little nervous, but I couldn't have done it myself
Yeah.
as well. So you're fine.
It's one of those things where, I mean, it's like, it didn't dawn on me how stressed out I had gotten until I got home, and then I was like,
Shaking. Oh, yeah.
I just like passed out. Like I passed out with makeup on, everything. Like I was just like out, like dead to the world.
Right.
And I didn't really understand how stressed out I had gotten until like unstressed. But it's one of those things where, and also, I was very aware of the fact that I was a guest in their home. It's one of those things like you don't go to a party and then just be like, yes, you don't
could.
just like take over. You could. You don't just like take over and like start talking over. Oh yeah, Colette, I know you're gonna let me let you finish, but hold on while I talk about my drink.
You would have been fine, I think.
I was very aware of that. I was very aware of not wanting to be, people being in chat and be like, who is this jerk? Like who's trying to like talk over the people who actually know what they're talking about. So I was just like, I didn't want to, I was very aware of that. I may have been too cautious. I think.
No, you did see. That's what I was saying. You can't go back later and think about all the things you did wrong. You did fantastic.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things.
This is the thing. I was going to say, Ara and I do agree on a lot of things, but in some ways we're very different people.
How do you mean?
I am the guy that walks into the party.
Yes. And just starts talking.
Give me a hug.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like, let me give a hug, Colette. Yeah, no, and it's not because I didn't feel comfortable. It's just more because I was just like, it's more out of respect, I was just like, I just didn't want to be a jerk and try to take up all of the, you know what I mean? Anyway, so there was that, but I had a really good time, and their setup, can I just say their setup is awesome.
Very pro.
And I want it. It's really pro, and I really want it. Like they had an entire monitor on a swing out arm, which that by itself, I'm just like,
well, they are Sony.
but like,
they do have TVs.
Yeah, but like they had like a, where we could see exactly what was up, and so it's just like, like I could see what I was on. So like I didn't, like, for example, I didn't want to be super intense in building and get my building face on and be all like, and be all angry looking, and when the gameplay's not showing, like that kind of stuff. Okay, anyway, I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, had a lovely time.
So Ara's landmark face is angry face.
Well, like when I build, I have a tendency to get kind of intense about it. I get focused. I focus.
Building is serious business, you guys.
It is serious business.
It is.
I focus on it, and I tend to like push my brows in a little bit, and I kind of, like I just noticed this is something I've noticed. I'm working on it, but whatever.
Real quick, in the chat, in the video right now, Topographic has made these legendary streamer cards for us, and so they're now rotating through. Our legendary super fancy unicorn has 900 streaming speed, 954 fanciness level. Oh, here I'm 965 streaming speed. I have 619 wubs and 874 rating power, and 999 billion Domo coins. Legendary Neurotoxin, he has 839 streaming speed, 812 writing style, 937 philosophical muse. There's Locke. He's got
I was
780
gonna say,
streaming speed, and negative 927 casual gameplay, 991 humorous anecdotes. Here's Omid. Infinite streaming speed, infinite EverQuest power, infinite Scotch knowledge, infinite noting endurance, and infinite key codes.
power mad.
He's power mad. Here's Snowman Wilkie, 697 streaming speed, negative 254 beard hair, 938 Stewart soda ad residuals. Here's Legendary Stakus, 744 streaming speed, 950 moderator skill, 810 lawn tool tolerance. Here's Tobran with 781 streaming speed, 999 Jaffa cake consumption, 705 question reading skills, and 907 Project 99 skills. So there we go.
More than bulk.
I'm gonna keep these on. I'll just make them a little smaller so we can. It's not blocking the chat, but we'll move it up to the top here. So you
That's
guys,
amazing.
it's pretty cute. Thank you so much, Topographic, for making those. They're really great. I'm gonna put them right up here. We'll keep them right here for the rest of the show. There we go. We'll put them here. We'll block up.
Pretty awesome.
That is cool.
I want
All
to
right.
frame mine at home.
Yes. I can put up a link where you guys can download all these, and then.
Yay.
Yay.
Well, and then one more thing from
Yes,
the,
by all
from
means,
over
keep
there.
talking.
Yeah, one more thing was just so after the show, which is I have this tendency to I come out of my shell a little bit more after, and so then I was feeling slightly more comfortable and just like, and so I brought out, I had an SSD which is now in my computer, so I can't show it again, but I had an SSD that I was going to put into I'm building my computer deck, and I was like, well, I could get it signed by all the people at SOE, and so I brought a Sharpie, and I was like, will you sign my SSD? And they probably thought I was a moron, like I was just like, I felt like a and they're like, you're not gonna be able to see it, and I'm like, I know.
But I know what's in there.
Yeah.
This is a Sony-powered computer.
Exactly, and it's just it's like it takes, it's like imbuing my computer. It's never gonna die. It's never gonna fail. It's just gonna work. That's my. I hate hardware. I can't stand it. I can't stand doing hardware, and so it's just like, this is my last chance. This is my last effort to be like, please work. Here you go. You know, you've got everything good.
If it does fail, you should mail it to SOE customer service and see what they do.
Yeah, I'd be like, please help me.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, so that was fun. That was one of those. And I think they thought I was crazy because they're like, why are we signing our SSD? You're never gonna see this. And I'm like, I know, but it's better than a mouse pad. So
It's not the
Yeah.
point.
that's not the point. Yeah. Anyway, that was mine.
All right,
Very
so we want to talk about SOE Live. Just the tickets went on sale. Legendary, would you like to take the floor here for a minute and explain all that?
Absolutely. So SOE Live, it's a hell of a fun time. Like they've said on the Landmark Live show, it's a lot of time you get to spend with the devs, hanging out. There's a lot of panels, player panels by the SOE staff, so you can ask a lot of questions directly to them during the panels about specific stuff. Or you have people like me teaching stuff like, I'm hoping to do a tutorial on OBS this year and get a few other panelists in on that. So
That's a good idea.
that should be a lot of fun. And potentially other ones. I did the first year I did one on being a bug tester as a player, and last year I did one on forum etiquette and the state of the Vanu sovereignty. So they're really open to the sort of stuff. And if you're going to do more than one panel, if you're looking to do panels, I think that you're more likely if you've got 2 or even 3 panels that you're applying for, and you might get accepted for all of them. So have the material ready. But SOE Live is going to be it's August 14th through 17th. The first day it's the registration and the welcome banquet. I don't believe there's any panels that day. The second and third day there's tons and tons and tons of panels and banquets and awesome stuff going on.
All of the banquets.
Well, no, actually, there's the main banquet is on the third day, I believe.
Yeah,
because
Saturday
you come in. Yeah, because you come in on Thursday. That's the first one. Then Saturday's the main one. Then Sunday is the dev brunch, which is actually not available in the ticket price. You can see on the tickets on SOE Live's. I believe it's just SOELive.com. There's $60 options for the the reception and the grand banquet, and that's to be able to get in and reserve a table. But then there's one other option, brunch with the dev team. Your normal ticket does not include that. It's a special little meal where a lot less people have access because they just have limited ticket availability.
And Omid will be your server.
No, actually, it's buffet style. You serve yourself.
He'll still be behind the chafing dishes, handing out the eggs and bacon.
with no shirt on,
no shirt.
or the colorful pants.
Yeah, the swim party pants. Yes.
Yeah. In fact, this is going to be swim party Omid. 2 days later. The pool party is awesome. They give you at least 3 drink tickets, I believe. Potentially more if you know people that have a pass but can't drink.
I used to work at Sony, and I got to tell you something. They are not at all ashamed or by any means restricted to have an open bar anywhere.
No. E3, they're the ones that I go to for my free drinks.
They will give out drinks to everybody. I mean, it was terrible. Like, we would do our convention, and we would have our, I worked in retail sales part of Sony, and we'd do our thing in the morning. We'd learn about the new products and blah, blah, blah. We'd meet for 2-3 hours, and then it'd be like, okay, lunchtime, open bar. And then it'd be like, go back to the convention part again, and you can't. You just can't.
So
can I just quickly float an idea for a panel?
Sure. What you got?
Go.
It's about game design by community.
Okay.
What you do is we have the panel at the front, which will be me and Tobran, and then the audience is divided down the central aisle, and they all have a beach ball.
Okay.
On their seat as they come in, so they take their seat and they blow up the beach ball while we explain the rules, which is the goal of the panel is to get all of the beach balls to either one side or the other, and if they're all on the left side, the right side win, and if they're all on the right side, then the left side win, and we just do that for 8 hours, and that's the panel.
It's a great panel.
Would you guys come to that?
Panel's only about an hour usually.
So you're killing Locke's idea.
We'll do it. We'll do it for 2 hours then, because it will be a special panel.
I mean, if you really wanted to do something like that, you could probably see about reserving one of the the banquet room on the day that it's not being used, and just have to pause for an hour for any of the major announcements going on, and then get back to it afterward. Like when they re-announce EverQuest Next.
Get back to it afterwards. Everyone put your beach balls down.
We'll come back and check this out later.
For an announcement.
Well, no, and then when somebody's not looking, somebody comes and hacks, and he runs in the room and moves all the balls around, and then...
Well, no, I mean, you have to put the beach balls down because there's going to be champagne, and you don't want to knock over all the champagne glasses. Because that would be a faux pas.
That's like expert mode.
Gets me up to time.
So yeah, definitely check it out. There's many past prices and sales price points and stuff, but ultimately I don't really think it's going to go all the way to the day of the event sales. I'm pretty sure it'll be sold out by then. So definitely get your tickets sooner than later. This one in particular because Landmark is going to be on either released or on its way to being released. And EverQuest Next will have a lot more juicy details. You can be sure there's going to be a whole bunch of screaming wild awesome people there. So
nice.
Be one of them.
All right, so before we move on to our next thing, let's talk about PAX, which is coming up next, and that's coming up next week. I'm going to be there. Omid said he's going to be there. There's a couple other people, but I think we're going to try to have a meetup. So if you guys are going to PAX, could you please email me, geek@geekdomo.com, and just tell me, hey, I'm going to be at PAX, and we'll pass out ways for us. We'll figure out some way to meet up. There's got to be some way we can all get together. I'll figure out something. So if you're going to PAX East and you're going to be there, whatever days you're going to be there, let me know. So if you're only there on Friday, only there on Saturday, whatever, let me know, and we'll figure out a way to do a meetup somehow. All right, so any of you guys going to PAX? No, right?
Nope.
No, I wish.
No. Okay, and I won't be I'll unfortunately not be able to make it to SOE Live this year, but I'm going to make it next year for the Landmark release or EQ Next release. Yeah.
Might even be before.
No. They're saving it for SOE Live. Yeah, it might be before. I don't know. Okay, when is EQN coming out? Homie, you want to tell us real quick? No, yeah, just
Drop it in chat.
yeah, just drop it in chat real
Or
quick.
anyway.
It's not a big deal. We'll just cover that later. All right, so we are doing a Q&A time now, guys. So please write your questions in brackets. Have a question. You can ask questions that only devs would know because we have a couple of them in the audience right now. We have Felgon, we got Pentapod, we got Omid. Maybe some other ones are lurking, but they're not saying hi. So if you have any questions, that dev-related questions, you can ask them, and maybe we can have them answer them or not. Pentapod just says when it's ready in all caps. You're lucky that you got allowed to do that. Our Nightbot could have smoked you, Pentapod. You gotta watch it. He's an asshole. He'll just pound, when it's ready and not
There's
testing
one thing.
Dangerous.
One thing we didn't talk about, and unfortunately I can't find it.
Well, then great.
Is the
that one thing, that amazing
the round
thing?
table.
Oh yeah, I guess
the round table on April 1st, and it had some really awesome content that I wanted to discuss here, but I don't know if I can find it. Maybe it was taken down because it was too awesome. All I know is I am totally excited about like rubber bandians. Okay, so maybe I can't.
I think they took it down. Actually,
yeah, I guess they did take it down. Darn, it was a fake roundtable question asking what our favorite class was coming up.
April Fool's Day, yeah.
Yeah, it was. There's rubber bandian, origami assassin. Does anyone remember the other three? The other two?
There was a duct tape answer, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was one of them.
CC specialist.
Yeah.
Came in
It's good to crowd control.
Can't remember the fourth one.
Yeah. It's too bad that it was taken down. It was awesome. I actually was hoping for some funny discussion to come out of it. I'm all about the rubber bandian, though. Imagine the random blink abilities. You're in the middle of combat, and then bam, you're over here. Enemy's confused.
There have been games where because of the lag, you could do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know. But the difference is, in this game, enemies aren't going to break off from you because you've, glitched out. They're going to break off from you because they have decided their goal right now is not to attack you and to do something else. If that goal has not been achieved, they're going to keep chasing you.
Now, I guess we know which one you voted for, Legendary. I went for the origami assassin.
Yeah, I'm all about the rubber bandian.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get started with the Q&A. Before we do that real quick, though, is that we are going to be doing our giveaways for our lunar anklets, everybody. So all you need to do is you have to buy a ticket with the Domo coins. You earn the Domo coins by watching the show. Every 15 minutes you get a Domo coin. If you're a subscriber, you get 5 every 15 minutes. You can buy as many tickets that you want with the Domo coins, and let's get started. So I'm gonna be doing the actual giveaway part. I'll be typing it into chat. When it comes up in chat, you guys can buy your tickets, and then I'll close the raffle. It'll say who won, and then Stockus is the one who's going to be sending you the tickets. Okay. Mm-hmm. So Tobran, you're our official question reader, right?
Official. Wow. It's all official and.
Well, I tell you, how about we have Super Fancy Unicorn do it then, if you don't want to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't mind doing it.
No, we'll let Super Fancy. No, you gotta get all pissy. Okay. No, it's fine. Super Fancy can do it.
I can't win. Okay. Go.
All right, go ahead, Super Fancy. You can read the questions and then Locke can answer them. I'm gonna start up here with the Domo coin thing.
First one is from Demon Cats. Why is there no chainsaws? I need more wood.
You need to earn your wood.
You need to earn your wood, right? That's
yeah. No, I think it'd be nice to see alternate tools, like maybe a chainsaw that it doesn't give you logs until it cuts the tree down in full, or I want to see a mining laser that actually cuts a cylinder rather than spheres out.
Yeah,
I think as long as they do the same thing, like we'll see all kinds of different skins for all the different tools. I remember, wasn't there a video recently where they had all of like the different crazy ideas for tools on the whiteboard? It was Michael Mann was doing it. Yeah, so it's the same with the weapons and stuff. People ask about sci-fi weapons and it'll be they'll look different but do the same thing. Is probably how it'll work.
For some reason, I don't think they're actually going to make the sick axe, though, as awesome as it is.
The troll. There was some good troll.
The troll finger pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Because I feel like that goes in combination with the nose pick, which was right next to it on the page.
Yeah, someone had a brainwave and just like, oh, and this too. No, you can see.
Okay.
Go ahead, Super.
All right.
Or Uni.
Next is from Captain Aroma. How are microvoxels real if our eyes aren't real?
My eyes are too real.
I don't get that. I'm sorry.
It's
We're really existential. This is an existential episode of Into the Portal.
who is it on Twitter? It's some celebrity's kid.
Okay.
Oh,
Who is it?
Will
Y'all know who I'm
Smith's
talking about.
Will
Yes,
Smith's
that's
kid,
right.
Jaden Smith. Yes,
Just
I know where
post
you're going with
stuff
that.
like that all the time. I'm guessing
I
it's
just
what you're
wanna,
going
like,
for, Captain.
This is why you need to go to school.
Is he on weed or something? Is like
No.
If he's not, then
He's
high on
addicted to
philosophy.
marijuana.
I would say something, but I wouldn't want to endorse the thing of which I would want to say, so I would continue.
Anyway.
God.
People
Is it
aren't know what
rap
I'm
music?
talking about. No, something
believe
far
that
more
actually- I believe-
sinister.
His quote is actually exactly what it is. It's that one of them was something about if our eyes aren't real.
oh, okay.
Like that's
Something
actually
like that.
now that I think about it, that's actually an actual.
So that really isn't a question. They're just trying to troll us.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just reading it said question, okay?
Yep. Yeah, no, that's
It was
totally
in brackets. It was official.
Oh,
Yeah.
We were trolled.
fine. We were trolled.
Real quick
We
before we
lost
go on
the internet.
to our next one.
Oh,
The luggage thing that says my luggage will be guarded by trolls.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. You got some swag.
I did. I got some.
Real
Yeah,
quick,
I-
Stockus or Bod? If what's happening is the Domocoin thing is going by so fast that Pentapod and I think Omid have tried to answer some questions. If you guys could grab their answers and put them into the chat so we can use it as a way to say this is the answer to this question or something, because it's going by so fast that like nobody gets a chance to read it. So I appreciate Pentapod trying to answer these questions, but they're going by so quick I'm missing it. All right, go ahead there, Yudi.
Okay. Question. Any player studio inside info other than Germany, UK, France, and Canada being included?
Zimbabwe.
They talked about it on Landmark Live. That's the most up-to-date info you'll find about it.
But I think they are obviously working on getting it in other countries. So they want it to roll out more. They want it to be a major source of income for them. They want, or they envisage, like, if Landmark gets big enough as a game, they want people to have their full-time job being making stuff for Player Studio. They want people to be able to support themselves by making awesome stuff. So it's going to be something that'll be very, very heavily supported as it goes forward. They've got more plans for things that we're going to be able to put in there. So expect to see it develop far beyond its first iteration.
It's one of those things where I've seen people be like, well, why isn't this in this? Why isn't this in my country? And just remember, like, it's not for lack of wanting it. You know what I mean? Like, just remember, like, they want it everywhere that they can possibly get it. It's just dealing with international law, and yay, and that's all.
It's just nonsense.
Yeah, well, because you deal with, like, it's the same stuff that affects Twitch
how is
gambling
international
ways.
law real if our eyes aren't real?
Did I
do the troll right?
Okay, not really. Try again.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
go ahead here, Uni.
You guys playing ESO?
God,
Is the next question.
Nope.
why would they ask that? Who asked that question?
The names are off. I can't tell.
Oh.
So.
I got a few hours in one beta weekend, and then there was another beta weekend where I logged in and I made a character and I went through the whole tutorial island bit at the start and got out and I just logged off.
Yeah.
I was just like,
You
I
did
don't
way
care.
better than me. I made it 7 minutes. I timed it.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
Yeah,
it's the same.
I put in about 20 minutes, and I was just like, well, I haven't made it out of this little thing, but I really don't
Want to?
I need
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
I did. It was the same with me in Final Fantasy 14 in the beta. Like Final Fantasy 14 is like notorious for having a beginning that doesn't sort of let you get into the game very quickly. And
Yeah.
it was like I got 45 minutes into Final Fantasy 14, the game crashed, and my immediate reaction was, "Oh, thank God!"
Thank God. I'm not doing it again.
and I never started it again. And I had a really similar experience with Elder Scrolls Online as well. Like I just,
It's a bit polarizing though, because I make these comments all the time. People are like, "Oh my God, ESO beta is this week, and I'm so excited." I'm like, God, you know, and I can appreciate it.
What
but
gets me? What gets me? I was talking about this on my stream the other day. What gets me is like you think about it's different. It's different for us, you know, because we're all MMO players and we've seen it before. We've done all that thing. But if you look at ESO, think about a kid who's a teenager who's played Skyrim to death on their Xbox. They don't have a game. Yeah, they don't have a gaming PC, but they put hundreds of hours into Skyrim. It's their first like proper RPG, like big scale RPG that they've been old enough to really understand and get into and enjoy. And then Elder Scrolls Online's coming out, and they're like, "Oh, brilliant! We get to play Elder Scrolls with our friends. It'll be like Skyrim, but we'll all get to be there together." How are you going to sell this game to that kid with an Xbox who probably had to beg his parents for an Xbox Live subscription, and now he's going to turn around and ask them for like more money to pay a subscription for this other game on top of that? And then he's going to get in with his buddies, and they're going to be expecting Skyrim, and they're going to get World of Warcraft with
Skyrim names,
subpar gameplay. Like, I'm sorry, but it's not going to wash. There's going to be a big backlash, A lot of people will like it. A lot of people will really enjoy it, you know, and you know, for the first few months at least, it'll ride the wave like these games always do. But they're gonna have to take a lot of shit.
Yeah, and I know we're doing an EverQuest show right now, and we have EverQuest devs and everything, and it might seem like I'm ass kissing, but honestly, the Landmark and EQN are so innovative for what they're going to be bringing to the table. These are the kind of games that I get excited for. ESO just seems to me to be kind of a rehash of World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, kind of mixing and matching some of the stuff from both of those games. And it doesn't seem to me to be anything innovative enough to where I want to say I'm going to quit playing whatever I'm playing to play this for a while.
But that's what I mean. Like even for the new crowd, like it's not for them either. So who's it for?
Really for?
You know?
For me,
Yeah,
like,
Go ahead.
Okay. For me, Landmark really hits on two different things. One, it hits actually many different things. For one, it's the epitome of what a sandbox game should be. You can fully build, you can fully, you know, in the future make your own campaigns and content stuff and
NPCs.
Get your friends in, and it's something that's, you know, free and available for everybody, but there are most definitely features of monetization that can be put into it, especially if all you do is just make awesome stuff and then sell it. That's, you know, the same kind of price point and the same kind of business model rather that Second Life and some other games have done. And, you know, Second Life, all you're working with is primitive shapes and everything looks like shit, but people will buy that up. So imagine making things that look gorgeous and the amount of you know, home digital artists that'll be able to make some awesome stuff and make some awesome money off of it and turn it into jobs. So there's that angle. There's the angle of I just love procedural sandboxes in general. I love procedural games in general. So Landmark really Landbox really hits me up on that one because it's you know, with the caves and everything coming and the fact that enemies will have their own motives and you know, break off intelligently if they need to, or group up and attack as a team intelligently if they need to or if they can. That stuff is really exciting to me, and it's going to create the same kind of opportunities you'll see in a game like DayZ or Rust, you know, where there's long gaps of time where you don't see people and interact, and then all of a sudden there's an interaction that's meaningful. But instead of it being 1 hour before each interaction, it's, you know, 5 minutes before each interaction.
Thanks.
So it'll, you know, happen a lot faster.
Thanks, Penapod, for coming. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry, Reed said she's just leaving, so I wanted to say hi.
That's all good. Penapod's awesome.
Absolutely. All right, you were going to say something real quick?
Well, I was just going to say, you know, for the ESO beta, when I did that, I did one weekend for that, and at first I was like, you know what, I just didn't play enough. I didn't get out of the tutorial island. I didn't get out of that. So I was like, well, maybe I'm just going to reserve judgment because it's hard. You know, if you didn't actually get to the meat of the big gameplay, that's kind of unfair to judge it. But at the same time, I was like, well, let's compare this to, I mean, Landmark also, you know, it was an alpha at that point. You know, now we're in beta, but it's still in development. It's very early. You know, and so it's just like, where I was like, well, maybe ESO will kind of become something more. And I was just like, well, shoot, if in half an hour of gameplay, if I was just like, I'm not seeing anything particularly that makes me want to keep playing this. I'm not seeing anything new. I'm not seeing anything versus half an hour into Landmark, which in terms of the state of the game was even ISO should have been farther ahead. And yet half an hour into Landmark, you're like, oh my God, and you're just, and you get into it. It's very easy to get into, versus like, and a couple other games that are in alpha. And if you after half an hour, you're not feeling like this is something new or something that you want to keep playing, that is an indicator, even though they're both very early, so it's just sort of something that I noticed.
I have to like make myself get away from my computer to stop playing.
Yeah. Like that's the feeling you should have when you start a new game, especially one that's been played up a lot. I was just like that is an indicator that,
especially like you can set your own goals with this game. Like Stackus is saying, he's trying to collect 1 million obsidian or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and it's a simple goal.
Well, yeah, I mean, like with Landmark, and it feels like immediately like, okay, you start to see. Maybe you don't understand the game fully, you've only been playing for a little bit, but you see, okay, this is where I'm heading first, this is what I kind of need to work on, and you're seeing, oh wow, these people are building cool stuff, I want to get to build cool stuff, so I guess I'm going to do this first and do it. There's a sense of, you can already feel yourself in that half hour, set yourself goals, you can set those, you feel involved and you can see where it's taking you, versus like, not. I guess that's yeah.
Uni, what are you thinking of? Have you played any ESO?
I have not. Like you guys said, it just didn't seem to be anything new enough to really grab me or make me want to try it. So I figured I had other things to play.
Yeah.
So.
Because you're a big MMO player. I see you playing WoW all the time.
I am.
Yeah.
Although I just killed my subscription. So.
Yeah, I do that every once in a while too. I'm waiting for Warlords of Draenor, then I'll probably kill it again.
We'll see.
So let me put this one out there real quick.
Yeah.
Game, not Landmark, not Next, that you're excited for.
Star Citizen.
Star Citizen. It makes sense. Everyone else?
I want to see
I'd say the same thing, to be honest.
I want to see where Star Citizen is going. I'm kind of waiting and holding back a little bit, but I want to see WildStar. I don't know.
Sorry about that. Locke is across the ocean, so it takes a while for his voice to travel over. So.
Okay, so go for it.
I was going to say, WorldStar's an interesting one. I give ESO a bit of shit, but it's mostly because of the kind of. It's like if you compare it to what happened with Star Wars: The Old Republic, you can see so many similarities in the way that the development's going and the way that the game is, and I think it's the kind of cyclical nature of that really annoys me. But WorldStar is a very well made game. It's kind of the.
Sorry, Audio Somatico just won.
Yay!
They wanted that thing. They bought 200 tickets. Holy cow! Oh wait, Audio talk with Stackus. Continue on. Sorry.
It's someone's already said "wow" in space.
Yeah. It's a little bit more than that, but yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's very, very similar. It obviously works on the very similar kind of base, like the typical MMO formula that we've seen a lot. But the big thing with WorldStar is the way that the combat system works, the way the telegraph system works, and the fact that everything's freeform, which makes everything a skill shot. Like, I think pretty much almost every attack in the game is basically a skill shot, even though you've got quite a wide area and it's quite obvious where it's going. You need to aim. You need to move. And I will say, like, even just being out in the world by yourself, like when you start getting to like level 15, when you kind of hit that level 15, that's when you're like out of the tutorial and they shove you into the world, and it's not easy. Like, even for someone like me who's very used to like the MMO controls and moving, they give you that time, and the build structure is very elegant. I like the non-targeted healing and stuff. They've designed content which is designed to be repeatable. I think they're gonna come up against a wall as far as content is concerned, because people are going to be able to find the optimal path, and people are going to be able to work out like the min-max cookie cutter builds. So I think they're gonna run into those problems. But I think the way with the telegraph system and the way that the combat works is the big thing, because they can design content that will break the meta immediately if they want to. They might not want to do that, but they can sort of change it and make people work to complete the content. So I think WildStar has a lot of good in it. It's not for me. I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for that kind of game. I'm not looking for that kind of the progression treadmill thing anymore. But there's a lot of people that are. There are more people that used to play World of Warcraft than play it now. There's 100 million people out there that might like to at least try it. So
yeah, it's one of those things where I want to try it. They could be
onto something good. Yeah, they could be onto something good. But they'll run up against the WoW clone thing constantly, which is obviously an issue.
Mm-hmm. Well, pretty much every game that comes out now is considered a WoW clone. But the thing is WoW was sort of an EverQuest clone. There's a lot of things that WoW took from EQ.
Yeah, for sure. So Tobran,
a lot of people made planes before the Wright brothers as well.
Yeah, or made cars before Henry Ford.
Yes.
At the moment, there's nothing that I'm looking too excited towards. Like, I'm kind of happy with the games I have at the moment, so just really EQ next at the moment for me.
Gotcha. For me, Binding of Isaac Rebirth. So excited. I'm going to stream the hell out of that game. Spoiler alert.
I'm looking forward to Soma. Have you guys heard much about it?
No.
It's a new horror game. I don't know if you like scary games at all, but
sometimes.
I'm kind of on a kick for them lately, and it sounds pretty cool.
All right.
Lots of head games, that kind of stuff. Cool.
Is it like story-based, all online multiplayer, sandbox?
Story-based. It's by let's see, Frictional, the people that made Amnesia. So similar thing, I would imagine.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
they've had some practice.
Scary in space.
Sounds cool.
Cool.
All right, next question, Liz Unicorn.
Let's see. We kind of talked about this last week. How about a compass in the UI and not just the map or mini map?
Yeah, we definitely have talked about that one. I think we're all just kind of waiting on which one the devs get in first.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like as long as we get a compass, and it sounds absolutely like we're going to, and it's we talked about this last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying reading all the hipster WoW comments in the chat. You guys are so predictable. Have you been copy pasting these off Reddit?
What do you mean? Like, are you going at them?
What are we talking about? Oh god.
What do you mean? I mean, are you saying that they're too cool for WoW, or is that what you're saying?
No, it's just funny. It's like whenever the game gets brought up, you always get like exactly the same comments.
Well,
I just find it funny.
I mean, people do kind of have their favorites for reasons, I mean, there's been times I've absolutely hated WoW. I did a whole series for when Guild Wars 2 was coming out that I was bashing WoW. I had a channel called the Geekosaurus, which is totally closed. Actually, it's still there. You can look.
I remember. I remember that. I watched your videos before Guild Wars 2 came out.
Yeah, and I just was like, leave WoW, quit WoW right now. And then like 6 months later, I'm playing WoW again. So
the problem is, and this is kind of when I talk about PvP, which I won't now.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is like people hold a position. People say I am an EQ player, and they hold that position,
right,
and everything that EQ did was perfect and unassailable. And all the World of Warcraft players, they hold that position. I am a WoW player, and everything that World of Warcraft does is perfect and unassailable. And they have their own arguments, and there's no give at all.
Right.
So instead of holding a position, why don't we talk about the ideas that the different games have? Why don't we talk about the
That's just
reasons
hippie
that
talk
these
right
games
there.
might have been successful? This is I'm just saying if we talk in terms of ideas which can be changed and improved and just have a discussion, that's how you improve things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's how you take. I'm just saying if we constantly hold our position and it's like mine's better than yours and we're having this argument, you're never going to get anywhere at all. You know, and you end up
many.
saying things that you end up saying things like fast travel is for casual games that make no sense. That makes no sense at all.
Basically,
But people say it.
Yeah, it's like let's have an actual discussion with actual arguments, and then rather than just.
Yeah, but it doesn't even have to be. You can just be like, what made this successful? What is good? What can we take from this and use in the future in a constructive way? And that is the reason that EQ Next and Landmark are going to be such good games, because the developers of them have looked around and they've gone, what are really great ideas? Other games, what are just brilliant things that people love in games and want to be part, and what of those do we want to be part of our game? They haven't gone, well's for casuals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've had a discussion about ideas.
I mean, because there's two sides to the coin, right? I mean, there's, on the one hand, it's like you've had millions of people, so many people who have at some point tried WoW and probably really liked it, at least for a while, however long that was. And so you're going to have a lot of people, if it's a successful game, you can't get around that, it's just like, so there's going to be things that people like. And so it's like, you can't just be like, you can't ignore it wholesale. You can't just be like, nothing to do with WoW, and yet you can't clone it because there's no point to that either. And so it's just one of those like.
But the other thing, kind of look at what they had going into it. For one thing, there's the entire, not just all of Blizzard's games, but specifically the entire Warcraft franchise up to that point. That Warcraft 1 was, a game of its own time. Warcraft 2 pushed that even further. Warcraft 3 had, so many mods spawned off of. That's where Dota came from. And that just the Warcraft name was so established. That alone did and still does get tons of people. I mean, people play StarCraft, and it's like, oh, they've got an MMO? Well, fuck yeah, I'm going to play that. So, and then the other thing is how well they've localized it and been able to spread it around. It's not just in North America, it's everywhere, and it does well everywhere.
And there's games from 2004, so it plays on just about every computer now. I mean,
exactly. I mean, I can think of another game, Dungeon and Fighter. It used to be called Dungeon Fighter Online in North America until they discontinued it because it just didn't do well out here. But out there, out in East Asia, it was like $500 million last year almost. So that's a difference of localization and demographics and
look at David Hasselhoff in Germany. He's amazing. In America, we could care less. Right? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on because we could talk WoW for hours and hours and hours, and we should move on.
Yeah, let's not.
Let's not.
All right. Question. I made some voxel horse dung earlier, smoothed it out a little, and added a torch for some steaming effects. Do I have issues?
Yes, you do have issues because there are plants you could embed that actually have flies as the effect, which will look way better.
Well, that's even better. So add the flies.
You do have issues. Because now you've given away your $1 million player studio idea.
Yeah, we're gonna totally put how do
everyone's gonna be making them. They all know the secret.
No, it's fine making. I mean, any kind of thing you guys want to come up with, there is no limit to your imagination. I mean, just look at amaranthine. You dig that out of the ground with a pulverizer or some dynamite. It just looks like amazing stuff.
Yeah. It's the heart of Landmark. You can build whatever the heck you want.
Whatever you want.
No longer everyone says Landmark. That's the whole point. Just do it.
Oh no, it was.
You want to build a pile of poo?
Build your pile of poo.
I mean, it was always Landmark. They always intended for people to do sci-fi stuff. It was just never so strongly intended until after they took down EverQuest Next. It's like, yeah, okay, go awesome with the sci-fi. Oh, speaking of which, we didn't even bring that up at all this week. Lumicite is in. You've got many colors.
Yes,
it is awesome.
I
call it Lumicite Alpha right now for two reasons. One, I feel like they've probably got more colors coming, and two, it doesn't quite properly have good light logic. It's
weird, huh?
It's just a glow.
Day-night cycle.
Yeah.
It doesn't glow though, but it doesn't. It's light, like it doesn't have any aura. It doesn't have any glow. Like there's no glow radius to it.
Actually, it does have an aura.
It's got an aura, but no light casting is what.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
it's not meant to be a light source. They're not designed to be light sources.
Yeah. It's kind
so
of
they're designed
that
to glow, but not create.
I did put it along a path, and it looked very nice along the path.
Yeah, I used it in a planner, and it looked really nice there too.
But it doesn't have any texture to it. It's just like a flat. It's too
Well,
flat. It needs to have kind
it's
of.
got slight texture. It almost looks like the stucco texture, to be honest.
It's very well, especially during daylight. It looks very much like stucco, but the white one. But yeah.
Yeah, but that's
More
the
colors,
thing
always
is
good.
they it's just tied to the light cycle, the day-night cycle right now. During the day when the sun's up, no matter if you've got it, somewhere deep in the earth covered by everything else, it's still not going to show any glow to it. But likewise, when it's nighttime, if you've got a bunch of torches around it, it's still going to be full luminance. And that's what it is. It's a luminance level. I believe it was something they established back in 2003 with Tron 2.0. It was NVIDIA with Monolith that developed that. And I'm pretty sure it's just a continuation of that technology, because the very same kind of like pretty glowy luminance that I remember from 10 years ago, basically, just probably a lot simpler to run now than it used to be.
Oh, somebody in the chat mentioned No Man's Sky. We should have mentioned that one too. If you're into Star Citizen and all, and you like the whole procedurally generated thing, No Man's Sky looks really impressive. So, Omid's looking forward to that one too. All right, let's move on, I guess.
Okay. Any news as to when the big update is coming? Just anxious is all. I'm not sure which big update.
Probably referring to Caves and Water,
the big
but
update.
Water and glass.
Yeah.
Water.
You mean
That's when I was like,
I think
it'll come when it's ready. I mean,
Caves.
Petapod was saying that earlier. That's
Mhm.
no one
my-
gonna get.
My guess is if it isn't next week, it'll be the week after, and if it isn't, then I'll tell you when it'll be on Into the Portal that week.
nice.
All
Here,
right.
here first, people.
It's like everything, it'll come when they're ready to put it in. They don't want to hold stuff back. They're not they're not being miserly. They want things to be in the game.
Belgon says when it's
And they
done.
want us to be able to. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things they want us to try it. I mean, like especially a big. But that's going to redesign how resources go out. It's not like they want us to be able to try that for as long as possible before open beta. That's just logic. But the other thing is, I thought it was really hysterical that so many people thought it was going to drop this week, because I was like, really?
The
They
rumor
just
mill
had
was in.
some of their key developers not in the country, and you think they're going to drop a patch like that when
They still got a
they're
lot
not
done
available?
though. I was impressed with the patch notes.
Well, but I was like, you think they're gonna, things. I mean, those are two features that, if anything, is going to cause some serious issues when that patch. If any patch causes serious issues when it's dropped, it's that patch. So it's like,
They're going to be wiping out the claims when they drop the water, because there's going to so many people's claims are going to be underwater.
Yeah, and it's just
So-
like, and you think they're gonna do that when they've got some of their key names out? No. So we'll know when it comes.
That's the
but-
thing. They'll have to
and
tell
I
us.
mean-
won't they? They'll want to let us know that things are going to be wiped and our claims are going to be gone.
When
Exactly. This is
Caves
not
and
something
Water,
that's a surprise.
when Caves and Water come in, the other thing that could be coming with that is potentially expanding the islands, or tying some of them together. No, there hasn't really been any announcement about that, but I'm just putting it out there. It could potentially be a thing. So that would further change the landscape and how things actually work and where things are actually oriented. So if that's the case, it would actually be impossible to preserve all of the claims as they are, because the world just won't be what it is. It'll all be procedurally regenerated at that point.
That makes me think it might be a good time to introduce some new biomes as well in the same wipe. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yep,
Yep.
definitely.
Just saying makes sense.
We're doing a quality giveaway, by the way, everybody. This is, you can only purchase one ticket, and that's to make it fair for everybody. So
Thing is, as well, when caves come in, that's a game changer right there, folks.
Mhm.
That's a game
Yes.
changer. That's really going to change the way that people approach playing this game. What we do day to day.
And you know what? Someone pointed out yesterday on my stream that the fact that we've been able, like, more than any potion, more than any beta potion, more than any sort of boost, a head start that we've got for getting to the Trailblazer pack, more than any of that is the fact that right now we can collect resources on the ground. Because that is such a boost to whatever, compared to anyone who joins after they make the cave change. That is so good. That's what I was like.
yeah, because you're
That's
gonna dig down for like 20 minutes to get to obsidian or something,
And
Yeah,
they said on an interview, for example, that like it's going to be locked in the sense of you're not going to be able to get to a tier 4 cave or whatever because the ground, the rock around it requires, it's going to be locked by item progression. Like if you don't have a good enough pick, you can't get into it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just, it's going to be very, very locked versus, you can just walk around wherever you want to go get it, So that's going to be, I think, pretty awesome to have had that much.
And I wonder how the mechanics are going to work for that, because I wonder if it's going to be tier 0 materials that just have much higher health than the other stuff. So you just need a more powerful damage on the pulverizer to get through to the lower stuff, or how that's all going to work out.
It was on. I'm getting that from when Co-Carnage interviewed with Omid and Darren McPherson, where they were saying they straight up said, like for example, like if you're trying to get to tier 4 stuff, that down below you have to have a higher end pick, and that because we don't have levels in the game, that's how you progress.
That's your progression, yeah.
It's tied into resource rating for your tool, isn't it? As you go through, like there'll be different strata of stone that you can't get through without a high enough resource rating.
Exactly.
It's interesting. A few people weren't happy with the idea of the item progression. There were a few people that said they didn't want to have to progress through different tools. It was weird. One of them cited Minecraft, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
No.
Sure.
I
remember the first time I made a diamond pick in Minecraft. It was a pretty big deal.
No. What they want to do is some sort of like Iron Fist monk style Minecraft game where you're just developing your kung fu skills to get the higher tier materials you can punch through.
I wanted them, and I want scarcity, and I want people to specialize. I want to know someone. I want to know the guy that you take all of your ore to get it smelted in his legendary smelter. You get it back, and then maybe give him a little bump, give him some materials. That's what I want. I don't want to run around by myself. Reminds me of real life.
I brought it up a couple streams ago, but it was in Star Wars Galaxies. I don't know if any of you guys played.
Oh yeah.
But there were people who were, specialized in gathering, and they had all the crazy machinery to do that, and so you could bring it to them.
Yeah.
So, and it was a cool community thing too, I think. So I hope they continue something like that.
Definitely would love to see some. And they even said before that that this game is going to be Star Wars Galaxies. Or it's going to have some elements of Star Wars Galaxies in it. So
I hope so. I think that was my favorite MMO ever.
Yeah, that's a good one. Before they changed it, but let's not.
Well, yeah. But
the material
we don't talk
system.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's, for me, more than anything, that material system was the best, and I'd love to see that in Landmark and Next, because the things where everything will cycle out, and you've got just ferrous metal, and that's just one category. You have 20 different materials that come up that'll be cycled throughout the year, throughout whatever period of time. They'll become available and then stop being available. Some are better for making scopes. Some of them are better for making swords. Some of them are better for making armor. So it's just a matter of collecting them. And what really made the top tier crafters top tier in Star Wars Galaxies wasn't just the fact that they had all the equipment and stuff to max out their skill and push it above the upper threshold that much further, but that they also specialized in all these resources and had the most awesome stuff available for everything. So when they actually put all the stuff together and made a weapon, it was the absolute best possible stuff, the absolute best possible stats and everything that could go into the crafting process, and the end result was always amazing.
All right, let's move on. We have a bunch more questions. We got like 80 more questions when we have 30 minutes. So.
All right. Because of DCUO, is DC intellectual property allowed in Landmark? Pretty sure no.
I'm going to say it's definitely absolutely yes, or definitely absolutely no. Unless they actually bridge the license over so that you can make DC content in Landmark and have it go back into Landmark, then it's absolutely going to be no way, no possible, because it's one of those things where SOE is like, it seems like they're really trying to ditch all of the things that aren't their own intellectual properties. So that's one of them. They would really be in a shitty position if they're trying to get rid of DCO or end it, and there's issues because it's tied to Landmark, or there's licensing issues that, maybe something goes on and like Smedley decides to sell Landmark for some reason and DCO is tied to it, or, there's so many issues I could see just on a legal standpoint why they wouldn't be able to do it.
Omi just answered, it's not because we don't own the DC IP. So, there you go.
But it doesn't really fit. I mean, do you want Superman flying around out there while you're trying to build? I mean,
Only if I can shoot him.
if you could shoot him with kryptonite laser beams.
Can mine kryptonite.
That would so that would be that would work out pretty good. Batman with his grappling hook.
Only if I
Okay.
can shoot him.
All right, next.
Demon Cats thinks Era and I shouldn't be bearded warriors. We should be Amazon warriors, Amazon goddesses, the fairy fighters, or amazing Amazons.
The furry fighters.
Fairy
Oh,
fighters.
fairy. Okay.
I guess furry.
Number one,
With
that's sexist. Number two, if they're gonna be Amazon warriors, I want to be an Amazon warrior.
You can't be your.
I want to be
Yeah.
an Amazon
Dude.
princess.
You see, when you said number one, that's sexist, I thought number two was going to be that's racist. Because, like, the Amazon is a place, you know? It's not like this magical fairyland. It's not
No,
like
the
they're,
Amazonian
from
women
Atlantis.
were crazy warriors. They were like,
Yes.
and they killed their men after they ate them.
nom.
Nom nom. I said that backwards. They ate them, but they killed them first, then they ate them.
Hey, they did
They
what
keep-
they want because they didn't need no man.
They
telling
didn't need no
them
man.
I like it.
Yeah.
The sassy.
All right, go ahead there,
I
Super.
wish I was sassy.
You are sassy.
You are
sassy
sassy.
pants. You're sassy pants.
Too British to be sassy.
Oh, bearded Amazons. There you go.
I like it. Okay. Question: will any casters here make SOE live videos, like interviews and such?
Probably.
Try.
Why not? I won't be there, but you guys can.
Hopefully.
I've got the gear to do it, so I might try.
Hmm.
By then, I hope.
Oh, I'm making a documentary about what it's like to be Tobran's dad in
Oh,
America.
not this.
Is this something you said when you were drunk the other night?
Dad! Jeez.
It will be my masterpiece.
Someone save me,
Guys.
please.
You guys thought Project 99 was good? You ain't seen nothing. You ain't
Yeah,
seen nothing. I've got Fu there with me as well to back me up.
God help us all.
Next question.
Or help me at least.
Question: for people with AMD cards, can we buy an NVIDIA card and set it to just use PhysX?
I don't think that's how it works. I'm pretty sure your monitor has to be piped through the graphics card to get the physics
Yeah,
capabilities.
I'm really bummed out that they're doing that because I'm a big AMD fan.
But
Which
I
Star
think-
Citizen fully supports me. Just gotta say it.
Hey, but everybody knew SOE has been up in NVIDIA's business for, like over 10 years.
I know,
So,
I know.
it's there's nothing to, it's not something that you have to predict. You know that SOE works with NVIDIA with stuff. And especially because the Forge Light engine and the Forge Light engine's got the NVIDIA tie-ins with PlanetSide 2 and I don't even know, maybe it even had some stuff with Free Realms, which, by the way, by Free Realms, by Clone Wars, I barely knew you. They ended this week.
Oh,
I will say.
It did, it doesn't. Sorry.
Go ahead. Well, I was gonna say that my card, I was having issues with it because it's supposed to be able to do physics and it wasn't doing physics, so I still need to sort that out. But I did get to try it on the when I was on the live stream. I was like, oh, it's raining shards of wood. I was like, oh, this is so cool. So that was pretty cool. It did. It was fun. That was fun.
I think as long as it doesn't affect your sort of gameplay experience, if it affects while harvesting, I think that's all right. I think maybe they might move into dicey territory if it affects particle effects from PvP abilities. I think that's kind of.
I would say
Because you're gonna turn it off, right?
in PlanetSide 2, it was in some ways a help and in some ways a hindrance. Because if, on one hand, if you were using PhysX, you might be able to see some of the particles that other people not be able to see as well. Like, you'll be able to see somebody using their healing radius thing and all the little particles glowing and touching everyone nearby. So you'll know where the medic is and you'll be able to pop them a lot quicker. But at the same time, there are also a lot of places where the PhysX would just block your vision. Your vision would be occluded where it wouldn't normally be because there's so many freaking sparks in your face.
that's cool.
So that's the good and the bad that comes with it. It's going to look a lot nicer. You might get some advantage in some situations, but any bright glowy stuff in your face is what you're going to be seeing until it clears.
I think at the if PvP were implemented tomorrow, I think everyone would turn it off because it occludes your vision sometimes. Like the pulverizer, the cloud. Wouldn't you? Like, I would, but I think
to
they'll
be
think
honest,
about that. So
to be honest, I'm sitting here with like a Razer Naga and a bloody, so I can't really say anything about peripherals affecting gameplay balance.
You know that my Razer Tataris allows me to super smooth.
Yes, I've seen that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I can smooth out. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I can smooth an area out like in seconds. Like just all goes smooth and flat. And it looks like a hill. It was automatically supposed to be there. It's so smooth. So smooth. All right, moving on. What we got here?
All right. Will
Pause
there
real
be
quick.
pentapod?
Omid, sorry, Omid keeps asking, is anybody going to PAX East? Omid feels like he's going to be all alone there. It's just going to be Omid and I. We're going to be hanging out.
Don't give him attention. That's what he wants.
Me, Domo, a bottle of scotch.
A bottle of scotch. My wife will be there too, so
Oh, okay.
we'll all three of us will hang out.
Hey, double trouble.
She's my camera lady. She'll be filming the whole thing, the whole mess. Okay, sorry, go ahead there, Unicorn.
All right. Will there be pentapod pets in Landmark?
I hope so.
Make it happen. Make it so.
Things
I
with,
thought I saw one the other day, actually.
I have one on my claim for a while.
So.
In fact, I might still have it templated. But keep in mind, one of the most difficult things to animate, especially if they're all going to be moving independently, is tentacles. Modeling tentacles and the inverse kinematics and everything related to that, it's a pain in two asses. So I don't know. That would be a hell of a pet. Maybe as a fan project.
All right.
Cool. All right. Will Player Studio allow us to make costumes and props and weapons like on Planet Side 2?
Ooh.
Yep.
Toby.
I actually have one that I'm working on with somebody.
Okay.
We're making an Omid bobblehead. Now the thing is, I'm thinking about doing this. We might actually make it real, and I'm going to talk with Omid, see if we can do this. It's going to be a charity thing, so we haven't figured out what charity yet. It might be Omid's charity, which is the Wikipedia charity. And anyway, either way, so we're going to do a charity thing with it, and if you buy the real life-size one that you buy for home, maybe you get these other one in game.
Nice.
I think that'd be cool. But I've got a real-life 3D modeler who's doing an amazing job. Matter of fact, I might be able to show you guys a picture of it.
When you said Omid's charity, I thought you were talking about the donate on his live stream for
No,
the SOE Live Scotch Party.
That's what he said to me. He goes, "You're doing a charity, make it a charity me." I'm like, "No, Omid. Don't do that." No, that's the wrong image. I'll find it. Go ahead and keep talking.
So something they mentioned at the London event, which I don't think they've talked about, but I'm going to say it anyway because I think they have somewhere. I don't know, Locke could probably back me up on this. I hope he can anyway. Is that Dave kept saying they want everyone to make everything in-game. Everything. And then some of the press were saying, well, what about the smaller detail stuff? And they're like, everything. They just kept saying everything. So what I'm thinking is that they're going to introduce like a proper 3D tool to be able to make those props and smaller
Domo,
detail
some
things.
stream weirdness. Just
Oh, yeah, it's okay. It's because I was showing the Omid
gotcha.
the bobblehead.
There we are.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Nice.
Isn't that cool? And it's actually much better than that now. This is like 2 days old, and they've been
Are there
working
going
on
to be
it.
clothes that you put on him or
No
something?
clothes. Omid wanted to be naked.
You know what reminds me of this little troll? Does someone remember the actual name of them? The one with the crazy hair that like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Mhm.
the treasure
Yep.
trolls, yes.
Yep.
Kill it
Say
with
that.
fire. Felgon said, "Kill it with fire."
Well done.
No, we're gonna have clothes on him. We might actually make it where you can get him in a couple different outfits. Like
Jedi Omid?
we could make a Jedi. Maybe we were gonna do like a fantasy Omid. Maybe one where he's dressed up like the most interesting man in the world with like a tie and a tux or that kind of deal. So.
Yes.
All right. Yes, it will onod when it bobbles, of course. I mean, that's the whole point.
You have to make sure it's slow.
And he has to do this the whole time.
So it's such, yeah.
And so hopefully we'll be able to put that in the game. And you guys can put it on your shelf somewhere, just a little bobbing on me head.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the plans in the future here. Is this what 3D printing hath brought upon us? Yes, Captain Aroma. This is the evil of 3D printing.
Pretty much.
Yep. All right, go ahead. There, Uni.
Okay. Landmark question. The combat is coming Will it be tab targeting or aim in a direction and shoot/swing? It's a good question for the SOE folks, I guess.
It sure sounds like the latter from the interviews I've seen. It sure seems like it's going to be in an arc in front of you, or you, like they specifically mentioned, throwing a spear and rushing towards it and damaging everything in your path, kind of thing.
Wait, hold on a second. Lolly just won, and Lolly is a super duper supporter of my stream and an amazing builder. If you guys seen some of the stuff Lolly's done, she's done these amazing like statues of the fall of Bastion and stuff. Just absolutely gorgeous. So congrats, Lolly. Go ahead. Sorry, continue.
Combat.
Cut you back.
Right.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Ara.
That was rude. But I got excited because Lolly's a great
Go,
person.
Locke.
Well, think about it this way: what makes in a classic MMO, all the combat happens on one plane. You might you might have raised areas and lowered areas, but it's always on one plane. But think about in Landmark and in EQ Next, in a destructible environment where you can constantly move up and down, you can move yourself up and down, you can move other players up and down. You know, what makes more sense for a design like that? Like just tab targeting, so you're always aiming at what, or does it make sense to actually be able to aim on a vertical axis as well as a horizontal, and for AoE attacks to affect a 3D region in the world rather than just on a 2D plane? So that's kind of, that's the answer to that question, I guess.
Blowing out the ground
like
underneath is definitely going to be a valid combat tactic. So that's the sort of thing they're going to be, able
I was
to
trying
pull
to
for
I was
us.
trying to work out the possibility if you can build wall structures and you can put holes in walls and you can knock people back. If you did those three in a specific order, I'm wondering if you could trap an enemy behind a wall that you've created, and then they would have to like dig their way back out to get into the fight. That was just something that I thought of.
Potentially.
Well, they
You bring
talked
up a
about
good
too
point.
in an interview, like they wanted to make sure there's a lot of movement and it's very dynamic. They don't want you to feel like you're just gonna sit there and just go.
Yeah, and I know that from my conversation with Jeff Butler, I know that he's very keen that people are watching the game and not the UI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the minimalism.
He's not the type of person that enjoys mods like Healbot in WoW. He wants to step away from that kind of thing. You know, the old healing mods where you just click on the health bar and it does the heal.
Whack-a-mole. It's basically whack-a-mole.
Mm-hmm.
Whack-a-mole, exactly.
You're
Like
gonna heal
he's
it.
not a fan of that sort of design. So that's what you're getting.
All right.
I'm way more into the active combat, the tab targeting stuff. I hate that, and it leads to so much like laziness and sloppy design.
When you think as well, I think it's important to note that when we're fighting general mobs, and when down the road as the AI gets more robust and more advanced, like it's not a question that it's not like you get within a radius and the mob aggroes to you and then goes through its rotation until it either dies or tries to run away and then you kill it. That's not that pattern won't really exist in that way. They might still aggro within a certain radius. They might try and run away if they feel like they're in danger. They will perform certain attacks, but the decision, the way that they make decisions is very different. So it's not a case of you're not going to be going through a rotation. You are actually going to have to react to what's happening around you, which is very exciting to me.
Because, I mean, one thing I'd love to see is you start firing arrows at some large creature. It goes behind a tree, and it's like, okay, I can still hit you in the arms. You keep on shooting it. And then you hear this large cracking sound. It pulls up the tree and starts charging at you with it. That's the sort of stuff that I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Or, the Dino Horde T-Rexes that'll pick up a boulder in its mouth and chuck it at you. That's sort of hilarious, awesome stuff that I want to see the enemies doing. Things that, just conventionally fighting group versus group, you might not notice those things. But then when you're fighting a few of them, you start to notice more of that nuance. Like, hey, that thing just pick up sand. That's gonna throw it in my face. I better stay back in the distance. That sort of thing. I really hope they have that sort of stuff too. Like the environment itself, I hope is a really big factor for both players and their techniques as well as the enemies and their techniques.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, moving on.
All right.
We're running out of time. We got 20 minutes. And we have 327 questions to go.
Oh God. Okay. This is a fast one.
I could talk about this all night. I'm showing amazing restraint.
You are, Locke. I'm really proud of you.
All right. What is the best way to report exploits / major game altering bugs in Landmark? Is it /bug or should we do it a different way?
You send him directly to Omid in his regular mailbox. Let me give you his address.
Yeah, no, it's /bug is good, but if it's something that's really critical, really needs the team's attention immediately, use the ticket system on the SOE website. That's going to get somebody within, hopefully a few hours, probably even sooner. And if it's something really that critical, they'll be able to forward it directly. It'll get attention immediately. You might not necessarily hear back from anybody about it, but putting it through that system, they'll. And if you have anything else, you can also update the ticket to provide more details, screenshots, or anything if you need to.
Also, it depends on what it is. I mean, if it's something where it's not necessarily, where there are things that are clearly, this is clearly not intended, and bug it. But it's also post on the forums if it's something that it's more of something that requires, maybe they'll want to see input, and like other people talking about it, put on the forums. Put it in the right one.
Kizor says that Domino actually answered that question while she was here.
Oh. Oops. Well, I don't know.
What's the answer? I didn't see.
Yeah.
She basically said what Ara said.
Okay.
That's fine.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that like it's okay to be public about, like anything that's not actually game breaking. Serial, who I know is in chat here, the top of his claim, it's a microvoxel grid, but every time you're out of distance and it stops being rendered in full, when you go back to it, it's all broken. Any painting any voxel or changing anything fully restores it, but anytime everybody is out of its radius, it breaks. So that's one of those things that it's totally fine to show the devs and give screenshots, and they'll hopefully be able to track it down. Maybe even with some player help, it can be tracked down even quicker.
Okay. Next question. Are any of the Into the Portal hosts planning to make stuff for Player Studio?
Yes. Hey, no bobblehead.
Maybe.
I'm not very good with 3D modeling. I'm gonna help with the textures and stuff, but I'm not a 3D modeler.
I'm looking at the entire everything, doing the stuff in game, doing 3D stuff out of game, 2D stuff out of game.
Write the theme tune, sing the theme tune.
Yep, do the music, do some voice acting, voice packs, particle effects, weapon systems, entire weapon systems that remodifying the ones into sniper rifles. Oh, and zoom. Zoom is something I'd love to have, just like binoculars or something even. But anyway, Player Studio, going to be a lot of awesome stuff. There's going to be Player Studio is going to be very interesting in Landmark, and I don't know. I imagine at some point SOE is just going to have to hire 50 people to handle all of the stuff coming in because it's going to get wild. International, everybody submitting stuff. It's going to get pretty wild.
Yes, and I think it's going to be great because as builders, and even the limited props that we have right now, with the ability for people to make some really cool stuff by moving the props around different directions. Imagine when we have props in there that are going to be even more fitting for the environment, that see people go, you know what, I really need a stair prop that's already pre-made, that's a prop, that you can just drop in. That kind of stuff is really going to be pretty amazing.
Imagine if we had prop making tools in the game.
Like Planet Explorers. Have you seen Planet Explorers, Locke? I know Ara.
Very briefly. I think Ara was streaming it.
Yeah.
I was. Yeah.
I played it too, and it's a little bit hard to figure out, but I didn't devote enough time to them because Planet Explorers to me doesn't feel as much of a voxel game as EverQuest does. But there's some things in Planet Explorers that I'd love to see in there, specifically the water. Like you dig up a hole near the ocean, the water comes and fills in the hole, and it stays there. You know, it's like that's a pretty cool thing. That kind of stuff is pretty cool. And then the built in-game crafting station where you can build a car. My son built a helicopter out of a block of wood and like 20 helicopter blades, but it flew, so it didn't matter that it was all silly. You know, it was just like, it's really cool. So yeah, I would like to see that.
Yeah.
Okay, guess we can move on.
While details are unknown and all we have is speculation with a few confirmed facts, do you feel that SOE will make EverQuest 1 races available in expansions and reintroduce loved gods in combination with the races?
That'd be cool. Next,
Well,
for sure.
it is a complete reimagining, definitely for next. Landmark, at this point, it'll probably be no races for a while, and then they might just throw a bunch of races in.
When next comes out.
Yeah, when next comes out, or build up to it, or maybe they'll have that as one of the Player Studio things, to actually rig your own, create your own entire race, all the rigging points and all of that stuff. That seems like it'd be more of a group project, and that'd have to be maybe later on when they've actually got all of the shared royalty systems with SOE Live set up. Because they said they've got the systems built, but just not fully implemented. And it'll have to be probably before SOE, what's it called? Player Studio, rather, is able to work. Because otherwise, like they actually, Dave tweeted out earlier about that nothing anybody makes at a swap meet is actually their property that they can, lay claim to. If somebody else goes to that swap meet, grabs it, and then later when the market opens, they put it up as their own item. It's just the first person who puts it up gets the rights to it. So yeah, that's why they're going to probably want to have the shared royalties and shared credit system in before they actually have it implemented. But that's getting off the subject. EQ races. And I hear EQ1 and EQ2, I hear people always saying, oh, I want this version of the race. No, I want that version of the race. Well, they could probably do all of them.
Congratulations, Modus Moron just won our next anklet. This is probably going to be our last anklet for tonight, so get your Domo coins and get your tickets and let's go. Right. Only have 15 minutes.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Y'all good with that? Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay. Question, will there be a cylinder tool to build?
Hope so.
That'd
You
be
have to
nice,
make
right?
cylinders, so like, why? If you can make the cylinders already with the tools, then why do we need an extra tool?
People
just
are having
to
a
do
hard
that?
time with it.
There's so many reasons why. Okay. With a cylinder tool, not only can you build a cylinder, but you can also cut out a cylinder. So if you've made these fancy columns and you want to cut out the inside without affecting the outside so you can save yourself materials, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier if you can cleanly cut out the inside.
Donuts.
Rather than, there's no way you can plop in a different material, select it with a magic wand, and delete it out. So a cylinder delete tool would be incredibly powerful for people making their claims more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
think
I agree.
they've said that they
Can't do
don't.
that.
They said that they don't want to increase the complexity of the tools too much. So I think it wouldn't actually. I mean, I'm not a designer. Maybe I'm wrong, but they wouldn't have to create a new tool to do it. It could just be on the drop down menu. You can change the shape of your tool. Like
Yeah,
you
it would
can-
just be a shape.
If they just added a cylinder to that, would that be something that'd be feasible? Surprised it's not in already. I mean, if you can make a circle, like maybe it's still in development, but I'd be surprised if it didn't come in sooner or later, because they want, they're using the tools to make EverQuest next. Like, they'll have artists there going, can we have a cylinder tool? Like, imagine them sitting there, poor bastards, like, having to make. all
Mike
of
says
stuff.
you can currently do cylindrical deletes with Z voxels. I like
Yeah.
the Z voxel name a lot better than the 0-point negative space tachyon field warp core emission voxels that those
Yeah.
guys found and decided to name.
That's
Wick is
all
definitely-
that's all well and good, but why go on a massive workaround instead of just having something that can be just elegantly slotted into the system as it already is, that will save everyone a huge amount of time
Yeah.
and effort, so we can all build loads more amazing stuff to put on the Players Studio and loads more amazing stuff to put in EQ next.
that's the thing. They talk about, what tools do they want to give us? Well, I mean, I don't want to be sitting there with a teaspoon filling up a gallon, trying to do something. There's definitely some tools that a lot of us have been asking for. And I don't know if it's just because maybe the current tools that are available to us are, prefabs that they got from Voxel Farm, and that they were just able to implement immediately. Because it seems silly to me that you can have a cylinder, or a sphere rather, but not a cylinder. It seems like a cylinder would be way easier shape to do than a sphere, but here we are. So
I think the sphere actually does show off more of the power of the engine over like Minecraft, because pretty much everything else you can do in Minecraft you could do, but the sphere was like that smooth sphere, and I was like, wow, that's a powerful tool. So that might have been why they brought that in first. So I don't know. Just a thought.
It was the line tool for me, building at different like angles and stuff.
Yes.
That blew my mind when I saw it in the video.
I tell you what, the tool I would like to see, or the change to, I think the smooth tool could be adapted to do it, would be, so you know how how the smooth tool is basically reductive. It sands away, in a smoothing way. I'd like to see an additive smooth tool or an additive option.
I have been ranting for that for weeks.
That would be that you could do terrain with that. That's what I would like to see.
That has come up on Live Feature Rant, I would say at least 3 of the 10 episodes so far, if not more.
I'd like to see
That's cool.
It appears Felgon likes your cat.
Yeah, kitty.
Wants to see your kitty.
Alright, you remind me of a super villain. You're like, soon.
Yeah.
So I'm going to blow up the world now.
She's being sweet, so she never gets up on my
There's
lap.
one other thing I'd like to see, and this is for people who like to do sculpting. I wanted to see, and I've been bitching about this for a long time. I'd like to see them have a push-pull voxel. Like you can indent a single point or pull out a single point, because as trying to sculpt, like say you wanted to indent a little bit of like clay, if you could have it where you could indent or pull out, I think that would be extremely powerful tool for people that like to do sculpting, or even if you're building and you want to try to like add a little crease to something, you could just like push it in and nudge it in a little bit. So yeah, that would be great, because it would be a lot easier to kind of almost preserve the volumes of the voxels if you can just make those simple adjustments. Sure. And while we're at it, the sharpen tool is one that I've been ranting about for a bit. Something to normalize edges and surfaces. If you're doing really weird angles, or if you've built something where it comes to a point and you've got the jaggies going down the one side, it would just be using the sharpen tool to smooth out all of those welds. It'd be absolutely fantastic. Call it the populist tool. That's a good idea. Remember, everybody, we're doing one last giveaway for the thing. You got to be following. I saw some people that are trying to enter the drawing, and you have to be following before you can do it. It's just the way the system works. Okay, let's move on. We're actually only got 6 minutes left, and we've got a bunch of questions still to go through. Want to do a speed round? Just kind of real quick answers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Go ahead,
This is
Uni.
a fast one.
Anytime there's a pause, just keep reading the next question.
Okay. How long for a lock-length beard?
It's 28 feet.
I've never not had it. I sprung forth from a volcano fully formed, with the as you see me now. 400 years ago. Next month.
Okay.
All right. What sort of prices are we expecting to buy/sell on Player Studio?
Oh, they'd have to be competitive with the SOE prices, but I imagine people will want to undercut SOE.
Mhm.
So
I would say the cheapest things are probably going to be like 2D decals and stuff will be in like the 50 cents to $2 range. Or I mean, 50 to 200 station cash. Actual equipable items probably more like the 300 to 700 range, 300 to 700. Full on like beautiful castles and stuff, potentially upwards of 2,000. But right now, PlanetSide 2 is limited at 1,000 per transaction.
It better be a gold-plated moo cow.
It's what people will pay for it. That's the thing. It's what will people pay for it. That's the thing.
If you look at like PlanetSide 2, Dota 2, other games with systems like this, then you could probably extrapolate from that how much it'd be.
Yeah.
Okay. Will we be able to place claims underwater and build like lost cities or like Loch Ness?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see why not, right?
Right, that'd be exciting.
No reason why not.
unless it's one of those things where you can only build once again where there's terrain contact at some point. So yeah, maybe you can build it all the way under, but it's so far under that you're not even gonna be able to breathe by the time you get there, sort of thing.
That'd be exciting.
That'd be
A little
fun.
bit of danger and death.
Okay. Which feature that is planned for Landmark are the devs looking forward to the most?
Oh,
We're not the devs.
we're not the devs.
Not devs.
Sorry.
Well, I know. I remember Omid answered this question as saying the AI. I know that Jeff Butler's looking forward to the destructibility.
It's already
A lot.
destructible. Like they wanted a frost giant walking through and smashing stuff.
Yeah.
Iron Golem.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that.
Okay, well, let's not go there then.
And this is a good one to end with if we're doing that. Because there's no Into the Portal next week, is there going to be a get-together in-game should it not be down for a patch?
Well, that'd be good. That's a great idea. Because I'm going to be streaming from PAX, but it's going to be sort of spotty. Like, if I meet with somebody, I'm going to do an interview, I'll be streaming. But if not, it's going to be off. Because I'm not going to stream for no apparent reason. Oh, Falgun is here, and he says water. He's most excited about water. And I think most of us are excited about water.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you guys want to get together, like, you could organize something.
Yeah.
We could all hang out on Ara's stream or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good idea.
Wants to host. I picked on Ara because I think she streams the most.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just did the same one. Yeah.
But you don't do Fridays, though, Ara.
I can't do Friday morning, so I could do Friday afternoons. That's
Okay,
fine.
well, so then yeah, maybe
You know, like,
maybe next week Friday stream fest with Ara, and you guys can go over and build stuff and blow stuff
yeah,
up.
we can do that.
We'll figure something out. I mean, I've actually got Skype Premium now, so I can actually do the multiple people in one stream sort of thing. So that's an option too.
All right, we're closing the
We'll
raffle.
figure it out.
Here we go, closing the raffle, and then let's go around the room. Ara, tell us about your channel, what you do, all that kind of fun stuff.
Well, I stream EverQuest XM. No, I don't.
I know, I do the same
I
thing.
stream Landmark. Dang it. Landmark Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific. I do a lot of building. I do a lot of building unless I need to do something else first, like gathering. So I do that, and that's on my stream, which I'll put in chat. It's here on Twitch, Era_gaming.
Oh yeah, maybe you guys can't put that in there. Is Bod here or Stockus? Do you guys have everybody's links already? I need to get Unicorn and Ara on the Bearded Warriors so that because it's just one place you go to and you can click a button and follow all of us at once.
Oh, cool.
I'll invite you guys after the show.
Nightbot hated me.
Yeah, you
So
can't
I
post it. Post it in Skype and I'll post it for you guys. Why don't you post your own stuff and I'll post it for you.
Okay. Yeah. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Next person is
Tobran,
Super
can
Fancy
I-
Unicorn.
can I-
Go ahead.
What?
Tobran's just sent me something on Skype. I want to read it out.
Okay, go ahead. You can read
Wait,
that
what
while
did I
we're...
send?
What
Oh,
what
that.
just messaged me. Can I read it out?
What, just? I said that ages
Yeah.
ago. Okay,
I
go.
read, what was I talking about? I just got a message off Tobran saying if the stream gets shut down, it's on you.
What happened?
I don't know what I was talking about.
How can we watch the stream if our eyes aren't real?
Exactly.
Proof
back
that
joke.
evolution is a lie.
All right, Unicorn, you're up.
All right. I am Super Fancy Unicorn here on Twitch and on Twitter at Super Fancy Uni. I stream just about every weekday, 3 p.m. Central. Do Landmark, Titanfall recently, and I might be getting back to PlanetSide 2 if y'all want to come play with me. So, yeah.
Oh, look at that. They set it up here. It says exclamation point lock. It puts all that. There's Tobrans. We don't have the ladies yet? Oh. That's okay. Unique posters in here, and I'll post it for you.
Okay.
My mod Tess actually mentioned I should mention I'm doing a giveaway tonight.
Wait,
Big old giveaway tonight.
.co.uk. No, that's not correct. I'm not at a .co.uk. What
Yeah,
the heck?
you're in Europe.
LegendaryNeurotoxin.blogspot.com, everybody. But I wonder if the link works anyway. It does work anyway. That's hilarious.
There you go. So you are in the UK as well
Seriously.
I guess I am. I am everywhere in all places.
at all
apparently.
times.
He is in my house, which is why I'm outside by the bins.
All right, Tobran, what are you up to?
I do weekly videos every Tuesday and Friday on my YouTube channel. I stream sometimes. I don't have a schedule, but I'm working on that. And you can follow me on Twitter at Tobran.
Perfect.
Yay.
Legendary, go quick. We're almost out of time.
Find me, Legendary Neurotoxin, here on Twitch, at Legendary Neuro on Twitter, legendaryneurotoxin.blogspot.co.uk, apparently, for my blog. You can find me every Wednesday after Landmark. You can find me every Saturday for procedural powerhouses at 1 Pacific time, 1 to 3 Pacific. Then every Sunday is Castles and Crap Shack, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific. And, of course, I am here for Into the Portal.
All right, great. Go ahead, Mr. Locke.
Hey, all my links just went past. I'm Lock 6 time everywhere. I do videos on YouTube. I stream when I can, but work schedules and that. I do this, and I write a column for a website called zam.com, which you'll be able to read.
Which is the old
tomorrow.
Alakazam, which has been renamed.
The old Alakazam, yeah, which will be up and available at midday Eastern. Yeah, midday Eastern time tomorrow, 5 o'clock GMT. Yeah, and I talk a little bit about my experiences with the dev team and with Storybricks as well in the one tomorrow.